So Perplexity AI just dropped some new updates yesterday, and these new updates are not big. They're not even in the news, not even in the YouTube page. They're just saying this on Discord. But I think these two updates are amazing and definitely will make this platform even more useful and a lot easier to use. Now, technically, there are only two new things that we got. One is related to the user interface, which is something that a lot of people have been screaming about. And then secondly, we have a new AI model that is now available in Perplexity AI. Now I'm going to break them down. I'm going to show you the two new updates that we have on Perplexity AI, and I think they're amazing. So the first thing that we got is now we can select the AI model that we want to use when we are creating a new thread or prompting in Perplexity. This is actually not something that we can do a few minutes ago, but now we can do it. As you can see here, there is a button that says auto. This means that I'm using the auto mode, but there is also the pro mode, reasoning, and then deep research. I actually have talked a lot about these options on my previous videos. You can check it out. But basically, you can select how and what AI model that you want to use for answering the question. Okay, so the auto mode is very simple. It's going to dictate what AI model and what technology that it is going to use to answer a question. But there is also pro mode, which means it's going to read a lot of websites, a lot of pages on the internet, which hopefully means that the answer is going to be more detailed, more accurate, and hopefully there is no hallucination. But this is where things get interesting, because right now we can select the AI model that we want to use. This button doesn't exist. This thing wasn't here before. So previously, you can only select the AI model by going to the settings page, and then you have to navigate to here and then select the model. But as you can see, the AI model is no longer here. If you want to select the model, you have to click this button, but it will bring you back to the home page, which means it is no longer there. And I think this is actually a nice thing to have. Now, as you can see, there are multiple AI models. There is Sonar, GPT 4.5, GPT 4o, Claude, Gemini, and maybe there are going to be some new models in the future. So that's very interesting. And you can also select deep research, but deep research is a different than reasoning, because this is actually a feature exclusive in Perplexity, and that's why we don't select the AI model. It is by default going to be using the Sonar deep reasoning, as far as I know. So it's different, but things is different. There are other things that are different in the reasoning model. So if you select that option, now we can select whether we want to use R1, O3 Mini, or Claude 3.7 Sonnet, but this one is the thinking model. This is actually not new anymore, I would say, because this has been around for about a week or so. But I think Perplexity was only putting the regular 3.7 Sonnet, but now, which coincide with the update about the user interface, we have Claude 3.7 Sonnet. I think that's quite appropriate, because Perplexity user interface has been quite confusing lately, but now thankfully we have the option to select the AI model, and it's going to be much more streamlined. Although I think this could be improved, because there's still another option like this button, which some people probably don't even realize, but they are very useful and very important to decide how AI should respond or searching answer for your query. But regardless, this brings us to the second thing that we have, which is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Now, I actually haven't tried this, so this is going to be my first time using Claude 3.7 Sonnet reasoning on Perplexity AI. So let's give it a try. I want to ask a question that is quite popular, which is how many are in strawberry? This is going to be interesting. So the reasoning model is basically means the AI is going to reflect about the question. It will think like a human if it needs to, and hopefully it can answer your question much more accurately. This is quite interesting. As you can see, it's doing some research, but maybe it decided that research is not necessary, and then it's start to count, break down the word, and then try to figure out if each letter is equal to R. If not, then do not count it. So this is the reasoning. You can see that it is really amazing that it can answer the question in such manner. And yeah, it is correct. There are 3 R's in strawberry. Okay, that's very interesting. But I want to ask another question, and I want to ask a question that's kind of silly, but I really like asking funny question to AI. If NASA say the sun is too hot to visit, why don't we visit it at night when it's not shining? I know that's a silly question, but I want to know how AI, especially the reasoning model from Claude, will answer that kind of question. As you can, it's very interesting that it's doing a lot of analysis for a question. This is a rhetorical kind of question, not supposed to be answered, but well, it tries a lot of thinking just to answer that question, and maybe it's kind of overkill, but let's see. Okay, the question contains a fundamental misunderstanding about how the sun works. The sun does not turn off at night, of course. It's all actively burning through nuclear fusion, maintaining its extremely high temperature around the clock. Okay, so what was the answer? I'm kind of wondering. Well, can you just answer it in one sentence? Of course, it is also reasoning. So yeah, this new button is now not only available when you're starting a new thread, but it is also available on the follow-up section, which is of course very useful. The sun doesn't actually turn off at night. It continuously burns at a millions of degrees through nuclear fusion, regardless of whether it's day or night on Earth, which is simply determined by which side of our rotating planet is facing the sun. Okay, that's actually a technically correct answer, but I was expecting the answer to be more satirical because the question is not meant to be answered seriously. But yeah, I guess that's the purpose of a reasoning model. It's going to answer you very seriously, and it's going to be very accurate. But yeah, that's basically the new updates that we got on Perplexity AI. If you are curious about the capabilities of Claude 3.7 Sonnet, you can actually just go to their announcement and also the documentation if you want to learn more the strength of the thinking model from Claude. But regardless, I think these new updates are quite useful. We got new buttons and also a new AI model. So yeah, if you find this video to be useful, then please consider subscribing to this channel because I'm going to make more AI videos in the future. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around.